touch that dial, because live from Hollywood, it's time for Pay the Price. And now, here's your host, Ray Jarvis. Yeah!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, okay, thank you. Hey, what a terrific group we've got here tonight. I can tell that already, and what a lively group. And might I say, what a terrific night you've chosen to come on, because we've got the makings of what I think might be our most exciting show yet. Let me just take a moment out of the time now before we get into things and tell you that moments before I came on, now I hate to do this because it's going to sound like I'm bragging, but I'm really not. But moments before we came on, our producer, little Andy Cooper, you all know him, told me that Pay the Price has just now surpassed Death on the Highway as America's most watched television program. Yeah! Thank you. We've got a lot of show for you tonight, folks, so let's jump right into it, shall we? Right now, I'd like you to meet Skip Henderson, our roving commentator, and Skip's going to tell us where he's taking us tonight and who's going to be our featured guest. Let's have a big round of applause for Skip Henderson. Skip, where are you taking us tonight?
Ray, I'm standing outside the Union Penitentiary here in Springfield, Massachusetts. And I'll tell you, we've got a show tonight that's going to ensure our place at the top of that ratings ladder. Just beyond these walls sits 26-year-old Tyrone Parks. Parks is a former data processor who grew up in nearby Holyoke. And just 2 months ago, Tyrone Parks was convicted on 3 counts of manslaughter by a Massachusetts federal court. It was that decision that qualified Parks to be our featured guest tonight.
Skip, Tyrone has got to be nervous and apprehensive about tonight's performance. Do you have any idea what's going on inside?
Well, Ray, I can tell you that Tyrone has just completed a lavish meal. A meal that consisted of a New York strip steak, an Idaho baked potato, Florida green beans, and a healthy slice of good old American apple pie. As we await the decision from your end, I'm going to make my way inside the chamber now to make sure that everything is set. I'll also try and get a word in with the supporting cast.
Thank you, Skip. We'll check back with you a little bit later in the program. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's at this point in the program, as you all probably know by now, that we like to invite the governor of the state in question out on our stage to make that all-important decision right here. But before we do that tonight, I'd like to take a moment to welcome a new sponsor to the program. Johnny, can you tell us a little something about them?
I sure can, Ray. It's the Friendship Greeting Card Company, the company that reminds you to say that special something today because you may not have the chance tomorrow. There's a friendship greeting card for every occasion, and they're available at fine stores everywhere. Back to you, Ray.
Thank you, Johnny. At this time, it is indeed a great pleasure to welcome the Honorable Franklin J. Bishop, Governor of the great state of Massachusetts. Before becoming governor, Frank served 3 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives, where he distinguished himself as a leading advocate of the nuclear freeze. Father of 4 and a man who many would like to see occupying the Oval Office, ladies and gentlemen, Franklin J. Bishop. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the program. Please be comfortable there. Can I give you a hand with that microphone, or I guess you're used to that by now?
No, thank you, Ray. It's nice to be here. I don't need a hand. In fact, my hands are well rested. I shook every hand on that airplane the first 10 minutes I was aboard. Nice to be here, boy.
Thank you. It's nice of you. Nice to have you here. Now, you've had, I think, more than enough time to ponder the fate of Tyrone Parks, who, as you know, is convicted on 3 counts of manslaughter stemming from his attack on 3 elderly residents of your state. Now, our millions of TV viewers,
That's right,
as well as a young man 3,000 miles away, are awaiting your decision. And in just one moment, we're going to ask for that decision. But right now, let's check back in with Skip Henderson, who is now inside the chamber, and I believe is going to have a word with a man who may very well electrify tonight's performance. Skip?
Ray, I'm here with Barney McIntosh, a captain at the Union Penitentiary and a veteran of many an electrocution. Welcome, Barney.
Hello, Skip. The wife and me watch you every week.
Thank you very much. Barney, tell me, are you all ready here at your end if, in fact, Governor Bishop does give the go-ahead for the electrocution?
You know, Skip, the boys and me have been setting up for a couple of hours now. We've made a couple of tests, and we believe we're about as ready as we'll ever be.
Now, just before we came on the air, you told me that you've lived in this state your entire life and that you've watched the political rise of Governor Bishop. As one who has lived under his leadership, do you expect that he will go ahead with the electrocution?
I sure do hope so, Skip. A lot of folks watching will be plenty disappointed if it don't happen.
All right, Barney, thank you very much.
Skip, can I say hello to my wife?
Sure, go ahead.
Hello, Eunice. I love you, honey.
All right, Ray, you've heard it from the chamber. We're all set here, and we're awaiting the final decision of Governor Frank Bishop.
Thank you, Skip. We're going to find out what that decision is right now. Well, Governor, the switch is in your hands, so to speak. Our millions of TV viewers are awaiting your decision. Will you allow the execution of Tyrone Parks?
Ray, you and the folks out there know I'm familiar with most of the details in this case, and I know what the jury's verdict's been, and I've got to tell you there's some discrepancies in the whole thing, and I guess what I'm saying to you folks is that I'm going to stop the execution.
Oh. Well, Governor, certainly that is your prerogative, but obviously you've made our studio audience very unhappy. Doubtless you've made our home viewers very unhappy. Perhaps your constituents are very unhappy. And it's for that reason that I'm going to make you this offer. Now, you can fly home secure in the knowledge that you've spared the life of a convicted killer. Or you can fly home thinking about what you'll need for your trip to Acapulco.
That's right, Frank. We'll fly you on a guest round trip to beautiful Acapulco via La Playa Airlines, the fun in the sun carrier. Once in Acapulco, you'll spend 5 days and 4 nights in the beautiful Hacienda Hotel on the beach. There you can enjoy swimming, sailing, sunning, and bullfighting. Frank, all this and more can be yours if you allow him to pay the price.
It's really very simple, Governor. You allow the execution and the trip is yours. I've got to pose the question to you one more time. Will you allow the execution of Tyrone Parks?
Acapulco, bullfighting is fun, but it was a terrible crime. I mean, the man did kill the 3 old ladies, and go ahead with the execution. I'm going to take the trip.
All right. Obviously, you've made our studio audience very happy. And just between you and me, Frank, I think you made the right choice.
Thank you, Ray.
Let's not waste any more time here. Let's throw the ball back into Skip Henderson's corner. Let's allow him to call the big event. Skip, are you there?
All right, Ray, it was touch and go there for a few minutes, but the mood has certainly picked up here at the Union Penitentiary. There's excitement in the air, and you can just feel it. We were informed just moments ago that Tyrone Parks has left his cell block and is now on his way to the chamber in which I stand. And while we have just a second, let me take a moment and thank Warden Thomas Potash for allowing our crew to come in here this evening. Warden Potash and his staff have been just marvelous in helping us prepare for the big event. Is everything ready, Barney?
You better believe it, Skip.
Okay, I'm looking down the corridor that leads into the chamber, and I can make out now Tyrone Parks. He's being escorted by Chief Jailer Rusty Williams, and they're now approaching the chamber. Rusty, incidentally, is excited today for 2 reasons. Naturally because of the electrocution, but also because his wife Rose has just given birth to their first child. As they now approach the chair, I'll try and get a word in with Tyrone and see if he has any final thoughts he'd like to share with us. Tyrone, is anything going through your mind that you'd like to share with us right now? Well, I guess he's a little bit nervous because of the lights and the cameras and everything else. While he's being strapped in, let me tell our viewing audience that if all goes according to plan, next week we'll be coming to you live from Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we'll be bringing you a multiple hanging. That's next week at our regular time. He's all strapped in now, and in just a moment you'll witness live the electrocution of Tyrone Parks. I've been given a 15-second tip. Count down with us from 10 if you will. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.